Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary, direct from Newsroom, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we're working on this week. Will affirmative action be extinguished in this country? Some people would like to see that happen. And a New Haven case before the U.S. Supreme Court next week might start that process in place. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Ricci versus DeStefano. It's a case getting heard next Wednesday in which the New Haven 20, 19 white firefighters, 1 Hispanic firefighters, are seeking to stop the city from ignoring the results of a promotional exam. They took that exam, they scored at the top. No black firefighters scored above the bottom third. The city ignored the results. They didn't say the test was messed up. In fact, the city tried hard to make sure it was a fair test, a racially fair test. But then it said that it worried that someone would file a legal challenge to them if they made the promotions based on the test under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. So when they go before the court next week, the court's going to have a chance to set back affirmative action if they say the city was wrong. And that's what some national groups want to have happen, including a law firm that's offered its services for free to the New Haven 20. There are issues of law here about what Title VII means, what the 14th Amendment means for equal protection under the law, that legal scholars on both cases can make an intelligent argument about. But we know that that's only part of the trick before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court decides where it wants to go, and it finds the law to take them there. Why else would Bush and Gore versus Gore have been decided that way in the 2000 election? It's not an accident that 5 conservatives found a legal basis to say make Bush the president, and 4 liberals found a legal basis to say it's Gore. Now, New Haven, I believe that both sides are well-intentioned and have a good point here. The New Haven firefighters who are suing to have those tests be honored, they want a fair process. They want, when people are promoted in the city, that the people who score the best and could do the best job according to that test, according to what they're saying the rules are, to be promoted, and not have politics get in the way, not have politicians just promote their friends. New Haven government wants there to be affirmative action. They believe there's been historical discrimination in this country. Black firefighters are underrepresented in supervisory positions. That's been because of racism for the most part over history. And they want there to be affirmative action and chances, opportunities for advancement. The problem here is that the deciding judge is going to be Anthony Kennedy. The U.S. Supreme Court Justice John Roberts has made it clear he wants to overturn affirmative action. But in the previous almost landmark case, Kennedy was the swing vote. You got 4 who want to keep it, 4 who want to change it. Kennedy is not for or against. He wants it to be reasonable. And the New Haven position here is not reasonable. You can't say we're going to have a fair test, make sure it's fair, but that's because theoretically someone might sue us, we're not going to stand up for it. No person who's on the fence is going to say that's a fair approach to affirmative action. That's part of a bigger problem in this country for those of us who believe in affirmative action, who believe there's been historical discrimination against people of color in this country. We believe there should be educational opportunities to help overcome that. We believe there should be extra recruiting opportunities to overcome that. But what people like Kennedy and the American public will never support is lowering standards or changing a process that you've tried hard to make fair just because you didn't like the results. That doesn't help anybody. We have other issues we have to deal with in this city on the firefighters issue. Maybe it shouldn't just be a test. Maybe it is ridiculous to ask people a question like, do you fight fires, do you go uptown or downtown to fight a fire when New Haven doesn't have an uptown or downtown? But the fact remains New Haven bent over backwards to make this fair, and that they may have blown the opportunity to advance affirmative action when they get their chance to argue next week before not just 9 Supreme Court justices, but really the one, Anthony Kennedy, who's going to make the call. Until next time, this is the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary, and remember, always pick up your trash.